Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Pike Homestead. My name is Adam, and I'll be showing you what we're working on today. As some of you know, we've got a fair amount of roosters as you've been watching, our videos on the coop build and everything like that. Our total number in the rooster coop right now is 14 birds. Plus we've got another one that's almost old enough to join them, plus whatever else is in that last batch of chicks we had, which is, somewhere around 7 or 8 more. That's a lot of roosters. And a lot of them now are hitting, about that 6-month age mark, which for, a non-meat breed for the, they're barnyard mixes, but they're a cross of primarily Orpington and Americana and that sort of thing. So they are dual use bird. They can be used for meat. So that's what we're going to do. One of the problems I have though is I don't have all the supplies for it. I've been looking at them and realizing, you know what, we've got to do this. Let's just get it done. But at this point in the year, it is now the second week in November. Finding killing cones or anything like that isn't around. So what do you do when you don't have a killing cone? Well, you look at YouTube and you can make a cone out of a bucket. So I've just got an old cleaned motor oil bucket that's been around on the farm. It's been used for feed. It's been stuff for years before we lived here. I figured that'll be good enough. It doesn't need to be food safe at the point where you're killing the chicken, because the chicken itself isn't food safe at that point. It's still covered in all its feathers. It hasn't been, it hasn't been cleaned or anything like that. So it just needs to hold it and, be clean enough. It's been sprayed out and scrubbed down with bleach and everything like that. So it's as clean as we can make it. And so now I'm going to cut it up, turn it into a cone, and then we're going to start slaughtering some roosters to get our numbers down, so I'm not feeding a bunch of birds that really have no other purpose on the farm here. So the first step in making your own chicken killing cone is you've got to take off the bottom of the barrel. So I'm just going to cut that off here, and then I'll lead you on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is you need to mark out where you're going to do your cuts. So essentially what you want to do is you want to cut it down straight down the middle, and then you also want to cut a triangle shape, so about 6 inches to either side, and have a triangle going up to about there to allow you to roll it into a cone once you've got it all cut open. So I'm going to get working on that and start cutting again. So there we go, it's ready to go. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be big enough to hold a chicken. So the next step is to roll it into place. I recommend using clamps to do it, because a lot of times you'll see people, if you've watched any other YouTube videos doing this, they're struggling to hold this thing closed while trying to drill holes in it. So I highly recommend getting some good clamps that you can use to pinch it and hold it shut. I'm hoping these ones are strong enough. If not, I'll have to go grab some of my other ones from other workspaces. But yeah, so you pinch it in place, and it's a matter of drilling some holes through and feeding some zap straps to hold it in the proper shape. Probably end up cutting off some off the top just to kind of level it out once it's rolled up. Now the keys to remember are the bottom hole. You want that to be no more than 3, maybe 4 inches, because otherwise when you're putting a chicken in there to do the slaughter, it might fall all the way through, which is a less than ideal sort of thing. So you want to make sure it's big enough for you to be able to reach up and pull their head through, but small enough that they aren't going to slide all the way through as they go through, being slaughtered. So, because you want it to be as peaceful and calm as you want, or as you can make it. And the best way to do that for the birds is to have them in a cone that kind of hugs them and holds them tight, which calms them down, and have them upside down, which also keeps them calmer, and it can also lead to them passing out, which is ideal for what you're going to be doing. There's really no better home way of doing it ethically and with the minimal amount of pain than to have them doing it upside down in a cone. You don't need to shock them and all these things like the laws say you got to do for commercial selling, for the ethics about it, because it's more ethical just to give them that brief little instant of pain where you cut them, because as soon as you cut them, they are no longer conscious and no longer feeling anything. If you do it the right way, which, we've been studying and looking at and learning and hoping to do today, then, you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. So the ideals for a cone here is it's long enough to hold the whole bird and that it's narrow enough at the bottom so they don't slide all the way through. All right, so that's it done. It is, 11 inches long, roughly, so it should be big enough. It's got an opening 4 inches wide at the bottom, and I'm hoping it's, it's 7.5 at the top, so should be able to fit them in. And then it's just a matter of holding them in place while we do it. So, yeah, I think we're ready to go with this. So it's gonna be our first day doing this. We think it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing for our birds. If we're gonna do it ourselves and do it the right way. So I'm gonna try and do my best. So thanks for paying attention with this, and we'll keep rolling along here. I think Caroline wants to keep filming for this. I don't know whether we'll put it in or what, but it's going to be our first time doing this. It's going to be definitely kind of weird, especially if you followed our story and you know our kind of background. This is going to be a real big step and hurdle for me to get over. But I want to do it the right way, and I want to do it, cleanly and smoothly and as much as I can make it. So hopefully it doesn't turn into a horror story, but if you're going to live the homesteading life, this is one of the things that you got to be able to do. Because I can't continue to feed birds that aren't actually bringing anything else to the table. So, it's the right thing to do for them. It's the right thing to do for our family and our farm. And, something that if we're going to be getting into selling meat birds and everything, it's a skill set that we want to have. So, we're just going to keep trucking along here. And, let us know what you think of this. If you think it'll work, and we'll tell you how it goes after.
So, sunshine. So while Adam is outside making the killing cone for our birds, I've just been kind of prepping the kitchen for us to be able to take them apart and make them into dinner-sized pieces. So we're kind of tidying that up so we can kind of work here and getting a stock pot put together with some onions and gravy, onions and garlic and carrots, and the chicken bones from previous chickens in here. So with this pot, what I'm going to be adding into this is the carcasses of the chickens we are slaughtering today, as well as the necks and the organs, so the gizzard, the liver, and the heart, as well as the feet, will all be going into the stock pot, so we can make some good stock and get that in our fridge as well. So we'll be recording this part when it comes up to there, but I've just been kind of prepping the kitchen ready for that. So we're using our kitchen because it is snowy and cold outside, and we don't want to be outside doing that or sitting in the barn. The barn's a little dusty from all the work we've been doing in there, and the chicken hay being really dusty, that we don't want to kind of cut up chicken in the barn. And the workshop is a workshop, so we don't want to be doing it in there either at this time. So we're going to come in the house where we have the running water and we can really work with it here. All the innards of the chicken that we don't use for the stock or for eating will be going in our loamy. This will break it down and turn it into dirt, so we can add it to our compost pile, and it will already be broken down. So at the moment I have some food scraps. I've got some more food scraps here that need to go in here. And yeah, so I'll see you in a bit when we get our chickens. we finished our harvesting and we've got our soup stock on the go. Got a lot of stock. We got 3, 4, 5, 6 carcasses in there. 3 from our chickens, 3 from others. And yeah, it's looking really good. Hey everyone, so this is Caroline of the future. We are actually doing our second batch of chickens today. So I'm going to record the gutting of the chickens because I didn't do that in this video. So if you're interested, just comment below and I can publish that video. If not, then there's plenty of places you can see that. But essentially, it was a weird day doing the chickens for the first time. After being vegan for 5 years and then looking at getting our own food and how we can be more sustainable, it definitely was strange to do that. The first roosters we did were roosters we knew really well, and that was a little hard. But it resulted in a lot of food for our family. We only just finished eating all those roosters uh, and using up all of our stock, and it's been a few weeks now. So it's definitely something that takes a little bit of getting used to, but as long as you know the reason behind it. Now, I know Adam had said that the roosters didn't really have a purpose, and during winter they don't. During the summer we can get them outside making compost or something like that, which we tend to use them for. But at winter, all we're doing is feeding a rooster that isn't really doing anything for us. We are, however, keeping 5 of our roosters. It was the original 4 that we got when we were vegan, and then also one that the kids have named since then. So we're keeping 5 roosters out of the 14. All the rest are going to be going in the freezer. So we have the remaining 7 to do, which we are doing today. The kill comb worked really well. We did have a little bit of difficulty, and like I said, it was a bit of a emotional roller coaster to go through that, but it was worth it in the end. And yeah, it's something we know we'll continue to do. Definitely to be sustainable, and especially moving into more of the local food movement that we are working towards. So anyway, thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought of this kind of video. I have another one coming up pretty soon here as well with our deer meat, as if you want to kind of see how we use the liver and the heart from the deer. All right, bye.